We are under 2 months away now from seeing Ahsoka back in her own series, and today I want to talk about 5 things that I don't only want to see, but I need to see. Guys, before we get started, we're on the road to 500 subscribers, and at 500 subs, I'm giving away this copy of the prequel comic for Spider-Man 2. So if you guys want to enter that giveaway, just hit that subscribe button and help us get to 500 subs. But with that out of the way, let's talk about the 5 things that I really need to see in this show. Coming at number 5, I need to see a continuation of Rebels. Rebels was such a great show, and aspects of it I really consider to be better than the Clone Wars. And many people have said that Ahsoka is just going to be a continuation of Rebels, if not a conclusion of Rebels. But we also know Dave Filoni is producing a Star Wars movie which will tie the events of The Mandalorian and Ahsoka and Rebels, all of it together. At the end of Rebels, we see Ezra and Thrawn disappear on those giant whale creatures into space. We have no idea where they've been since, and I'm knowing for a fact that this series is going to show what happens to them because we've seen Thrawn in the trailer. I want a conclusion to this story, but I also want it to branch out into something new and tell something original. Story is king here, and I think if you don't tell a good story, what's the point of even having, the show in general? Fan service and nostalgia and action only goes so far. If you don't have a grounded story, you're lost. Which kind of brings me into my number 4 point. In this number 4 spot, I want to see these new characters that we're being introduced to really cement themselves as solid Star Wars characters. I want the backstory. I want everything. I want to know about them so much, and I want to spend a decent amount of time with them, not just as either protagonists or antagonists, but I want to know their whole story of how they got to be where they are. There's rumors of 2 of the main antagonists of the series being former Jedi that turned to the dark side during the purge of Order 66, which isn't anything new. We've seen this before, but I really think Dave Filoni is going to be able to secure these characters and put them in a spot that's different than characters like Reva, where we're going to actually feel for them more and get more time to adapt with them. In the number 3 spot, I want to see the world between worlds. Now, I know this may be kind of a stretch, but look, it was such a cool concept from Rebels, and if they just leave it at that, it kind of feels pointless. Now, Dave Filoni has come out and said that the world between worlds isn't necessarily something that allows you to change the past or the future, or, do things that necessarily erase what has happened in the past or what will happen in the future. But that doesn't mean we can't still access it. It was such a big part of Rebels and is really the only reason Ahsoka is still alive. And this is her show, so we want to see more of that. It's such a really cool concept, and with the multiverse being a huge pop culture sensation right now, the time kind of feels right. Because Star Wars actually hasn't delved into the multiverse that much, and I think this may be an opportunity to do so, especially because we're going to be seeing Ezra again, which, without him, she would not be here. At number 2, I want this show to have consequences. I want this show to really, really surprise me. I want to be excited for this show every single week. I don't want to build up to a crazy episode. I want every episode to have its own meaning and purpose and not be filler. And I say filler hesitantly because filler is not really even a thing. It's storytelling. But I say that in a way that I want every episode to matter towards the general theme or story arc. I don't want an episode where we just go off on a random planet, do a side mission, and then act like it never happened. Because I feel like that is something that has happened in Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian Season 3, and even Obi-Wan Kenobi. Switching gears, I don't want this show to fall into the same trap that Obi-Wan kind of fell in. I really did like the show, but there were some shortcomings that were very noticeable. I want the production value to be completely showcased here, and I want it to be movie quality, which we did get that with Mandalorian Season 3, but we sacrificed storytelling and characters for that. I don't want either of those things to happen in this series, and this is such an important show to the world of Star Wars going forward. I do not 100% want Ahsoka to die here. In fact, I don't want really any of the Rebels characters to die in this show. There's a way to do it. There's a way to tell a story similar to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, where the stakes are extremely high, but nobody has to die. Because if we're leading towards this Dave Filoni movie in the Star Wars universe, we're going to want all of the heavy hitters that we can get. And I don't think killing Ahsoka in her own show would necessarily be the best thing, considering how beloved she is by fans and, everybody in general. With that being said, if someone does end up biting the dust in this show, I hope they do it justice. Because I'm wondering if this is going to be the send-off for the Rebels crew, or it's going to set up the movie that's down the line. But look, no matter what happens, I just want the story to be good. I say that over and over again, but the story is what matters the most. Coming in at the number 1 spot, I think everybody just wants to see cameos. And not just, oh look, there's that person, oh there's that person, but cameos that matter. And of course, you know, the number one I'm talking about here is seeing Anakin and Ahsoka back in the Clone Wars days. Getting those flashbacks with these characters in live action is something we've never ever seen before. And to do it in this show would take what Obi-Wan did and really exceed it to the next level and show the audience this is what you guys needed. Again, I really did enjoy my time with the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, but I do think it fell short in some aspects. And most notably bringing Hayden Christensen back as Darth Vader. We got one episode where we really got to see Hayden Christensen act and really be with Obi-Wan, and then we got the awesome fight at the end, but that was pretty much it. This show marketed the return of Darth Vader fighting Obi-Wan, and we got some of it. I want this show to go full out. I don't want it to hold anything back. Could you imagine a scene where we get Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, and Ahsoka fighting in the Clone Wars like we've seen in the animated series? It would blow people away and it would be a huge win for the Star Wars community. At the same time, we know the relationship between Ahsoka and Anakin was immense. They care about each other so much, and we have that scene in Star Wars Rebels where Vader fights Ahsoka and she breaks through to Anakin for a brief second. If there's a way to sort of harken back to that or bring it up somehow, I would really enjoy it. But again, these cameos, these appearances can't just be for the sake of fan service. They have to mean something for the story, and I think Ahsoka is so well rounded with all of the characters in the Star Wars universe that if they do cameos, they're going to be done right. Because of course, in Dave Filoni we trust. Guys, let me know down below what you hope to see in this show. Please leave a comment. I will read it and I most likely will respond. Again, hit that subscribe button and join us on the road to 500 subscribers so we can get you that giveaway. But till next time, I'll see you very soon.